What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist. Y aquí estoy con
Gershwan.
Y otra vez vamos a answer your questions in the greater
WAAAGH.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get some questions first. That is what Lord Harkin did. He asks, how do the other Warhammer 40K factions, such as the Eldar, perceive the Emperor of Mankind? Oh, I thought it was the Imperium. Do the Eldar consider him a lowly ape like the rest of humanity, or do they acknowledge his psychic prowess? So starting with the Eldar, since you asked, most Eldar believe that the Emperor was important, but he wasn't. Like, they just see him as an important character. The best way to think of it is kind of like Jewish people see Jesus as a being, like he was important to the faith, but he's not God. And I think that's how the Eldar see the Emperor. He's important to the greater scheme of destroying chaos, but he's not their God. He's not their.
They don't. I guess they don't praise him or like have belief in him.
Yeah. The Orcs see the Emperor as like the war boss of the entire human race, which he kind of is. And then the Tyranids just see, they probably are attracted, they just see him as like a beacon of juicy psychic things that is attracting them, because they're attracted to supposedly the Astronomicon. Supposedly.
Right.
What's next?
Necrons, most of them are mindless. Silent King might want to have a talk with him.
That's even if he cares, right? I feel like if you're the Necron and you're the Silent King, you've conquered the world. You've conquered the galaxy. So there's a little like arrogance, more so than the Eldar.
Yeah.
The Tau.
Tau. I mean, just another imperial thing to control.
I wonder if they would actually see the Emperor like we see the Emperor, as like we know the story of the Imperium, and we kind of see that the Emperor is just like a kind of a dumb guy for not letting the Primarchs in on the whole thing, and the collapse of the Imperium is because of him, and now it's kind of a poetic justice that he was killing all these priests and destroying all these churches, but now he's become the reason for these priests and churches. So maybe the Tau and the Ethereals see the hypocrisy of the Imperium and the Emperor. And did we miss anybody? I don't think we did, right?
No. And if we did, oh well.
Next question.
This one's by Do you prefer normal Space Marines or Primaris Space Marines? 30K Space Marines. Just their aesthetic, like the mark of their armor is more appealing to me.
Do you have a specific mark that you like?
I wouldn't say there's one that I favor over the others. Mark IV is pretty good. However, when you look at the Primaris Space Marine, I really like their helmets. So, yeah. The big one. What's the Wi-Fi password in the Emperor's Palace?
Han shot first, maybe?
202 Luna. I forgot the number.
The jingle.
773-281 Empire. That's not it.
That's not
it.
Next question comes from the 406. What is the natural lifespan of a Tau without using any cryotech or life prolonging methods?
I'd say it was like 40 years.
So they're less than humans? Wow.
Yeah, 40, 50 years, I want to say.
At what is the age of consent for the Tau?
In vitro fertilization.
Gross. Next question.
This one is by Miguel Reyes. Are the Chaos Gods more powerful than the Akutan? If all the Akutan in existence in the current 40K timeline, who would be the dominant force between them? Oh, so you're saying if all the Akutan exist currently against the Chaos Gods, who would win? Chaos. Akutan are weak against warp. and Chaos is all war. So yeah.
It's like saying, well, if Blastoise and Charizard fought, would Blastoise beat Charizard every time?
More times than not. Obviously, there's still some times where Charizard would win, but more times than not, Blastoise would win.
Next question comes from Damian Henderson. Can Adeptus Astartes wear Primaris armor and use Primaris weapons, and vice versa? No, it doesn't fit. Their Carapace armor is probably organized a little different. Or actually, would Belisarius would he be smart enough to make it so that it would be compatible? I feel like he would. I don't think he would be an asshole and like do the Apple thing and say like, no.
You have to use Apple stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't think there's anything in the lore that says otherwise.
Yeah.
Good question.
Oh, this one's by Robert Has Downs Jr. Which Warhammer god or deity can I trust to delete my internet history when I die? Obviously not Slanesh, because he or she would want to keep that stuff there forever and ever. Zeech wouldn't, because he can use that to blackmail you even after death.
I would say Nurgle, because Nurgle would actually revive you, and then you can keep looking up whatever nasty-ass stuff you're watching online.
Cochino.
Next question comes from Alistair Smith. Was the Emperor a dog person or a cat person? He was definitely a dog person.
Yeah, because he had those mastiffs.
He had the Luna Wolves.
The Emperor's lapdogs is what they were called.
Next question.
DeFool06. Are Sisters of Silence allowed to sneeze, burp, and fart? Or are all those things included in their vows as well?
They are not allowed to do any of that.
Because they biologically won't.
In 40K, if you can have flagellants, you can have a body that doesn't fart.
They'll use that gas and make it into like energy or something like that.
Next question.
Yo, John, which path do you feel that we, currently in 2019, are on? Do you think that humanity will create a chaos god, or do you feel that humanity is slowly going for the greater good?
Slowly going for the greater good.
Yeah, because if we were going to make a chaos god, it would have already been made. With like the plagues and like all the butchering and wars throughout history.
Yep. Next question comes from Squiggly Line. Who would win in a fist fight between the Wolfen Space Wolves and the Red Thirst Blood Angels?
I'm going to give it to the Blood Angels. Bias, that's why.
Oh, I would give it to the Wolfen because Red Thirst Blood Angels are not that tough. You're thinking of Black Rage Blood Angels.
Right. What Red Thirst Blood Angels?
Want to drink blood.
Yeah. Bias. Tom Withlow. Oi, you glitz. How does an orc boy become a knob?
That's a very Jamaican orc.
I'm sorry. Sorry, man.
You have to be the toughest and the meanest. You have to break Eds. Next question comes from Why Not? Why has no one ever redone the ritual that creates the Emperor? You stumped us. Stumped us. No,
the sacrifice of the shamans?
Yeah.
They do that all the time.
Sacrificing shamans to bring back the Emperor?
Well, they're sacrificing shamans to the throne.
Yeah. I think, I guess, you can make that argument. They really do it all the time. I don't think they probably even know, like, how what exactly was said or what exactly was done. Even though that whole creation of the Emperor makes it seem that the Emperor is actually a demon host inside the body of all these sacrificed people, which is why he's so powerful. He's just a really powerful demon inside of the body of the Emperor, or inside the body of a host. Next question comes from Pyre Knight. Is the Bladerunner universe linked to 40K? It is not, but it should.
Yeah, I could easily see that being. Was it you who said that Bladerunner, the new Bladerunner, looked just like
Hive City?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sejanus. Do many tabletop players play Sisters of Battle? I've heard that the Eldar are amongst the most rare armies you'll ever come across. Could you try ranking the factions from most played to least?
Yeah, we do that.
Number 1, hands
Space
down,
Marines.
Space Marines. Number 2, I want to say...
Imperial Guard or Orcs?
Yeah.
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 So Imperial Guard and Orcs are kind of like flip-flopping. The next most played race that we see is probably Necrons.
Mm-hmm. And then I put Tau under that. And then... Are you going to lump Eldar and Dark Eldar into the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we lump Eldar and Dark Eldar into the same, then I think they might be a little more... more people play them than the Tau.
Right.
And then, well, I think even the Tyranids might get more play than the Tau and the Eldar. But underneath all of them, I think would be like the Inquisition and all like the Knights and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I still gotta say that the Harlequins, in my opinion, are the least played. Just because they don't really have much to them. Like, in my opinion, lore is pretty cool. Like, they're all about, like, fighting Slaanesh and the library and their fight against, like, the Thousand Sons and stuff like that. However, like, they barely have any models. Like, give them some more models.
Yeah, the same could have been said for the Grey Knights. It's just that the Grey Knights were really, like, a good faction to play at the time.
Mm-hmm. In 5th edition, they were, like, beyond broken OP.
Yeah.
Plasma weapons have no effect on them. Yeah, okay. I would just give up by playing my Tau. But yeah, I mean, the thing about the Harlequins, too, is they have a living god that they praise. Kegara is still alive.
Yep.
Do something with that.
Yep.
Avatar of Kegara.
Yeah, that'd be badass. Next question. I have... Well, that's kind of a throwaway question. Next question comes from Nicholas Anzalone. What are the Chaos equivalents of the Apothecary or Scout Marines? Like, the Tech Marines have the Warpsmith, the Chaplains have the Dark Apostles, Chapter Masters have Chaos Lords, etc. So an Apothecary equivalent would be... What's Fabius Bile considered?
He's like an Apothecary. He's just like a corrupted one.
So it'd just be a corrupted Apothecary. It doesn't have a title?
Yeah.
And there's in the tabletop, there's no playable Apothecary unit for the Chaos?
Not that I'm aware of. I'd have to recheck the codex, but I don't think there is.
Then Scout Marines, Chaos doesn't need Scouts, and they wouldn't have Scouts because you have to remember that most Chaos Space Marines are veterans from 30K.
Mm-hmm.
They've been around for a while. So, if anything in the tabletop, you would use Demons for that.
Or Cultists.
Or Cultists, yeah. But yeah, those are the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. We have a Patreon. You can support us on Patreon. It's $1 a month, and it helps us pay for these high-priced GW products. They just keep going up and up.
Yeah, we got giveaways going out, so be checking out the videos for that. Hit us up on our Facebook, Patreon, comment, like, subscribe.
This is Gershwan.
Sound Alchemist, out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any